Yes, yes. Someone's come. Good, good.
हा ताई मी आहे.
हो आले आले. मला तुमचं यांचं दिसतं ना, प्रभाकरजींचं दिसतं ना.
हा ते
छान वाटतं, पण छान वाटतं.
हा
व्हेरी गुड. तुमचं पण काय काम चाललंय त्याच्यात. सगळ्या त्या मुलांचं ते पार्लमेंट वगैरे कॉन्सेप्ट फारच छान चालली आहे.
हो हो
थोडस तुमची कल्पना द्या ना मला तुमच्या कामाची बिफोर वी स्टार्ट. काय काय करताय सध्या?
आता तरी आमचं आता हे 2 महिने जे आहेत पुढे प्रोग्रामचं हे होतं. त्यानंतर कसं आहे की त्यात तेव्हाचा जो रियाज असतो तो थोडा फोकस्ड असतो. तसं हे होतं. एखादा टॉपिक आपण ठरवला आणि इफ वी डिसाइड दॅट ऑन दिस पर्टिक्युलर डे आय एम गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट दिस टॉपिक, देन दॅट टॉपिक अराउंड दॅट टॉपिक यू स्टार्ट focusing your studies and it kind of becomes very
And
focused.
all said and done, it's a steady journey towards the light.
Absolutely.
Whether it is by this lane or that lane, you're continuously walking towards light.
Yes,
And
yes.
that is something which I'm also very happy. Manje, I go a little out of the way zone. I try to gather material, and then I feel,
Yes.
array, this is
Very true,
I
very
enjoy that.
very true.
Very nice.
I think
आता
Milind
आपल्याला किती
is joined.
मिनिटं आहेत? How many?
No, we have already started. Our time is already started, so we can start.
Should we start then?
Yes,
Should we start?
yes, yes.
माझा
The record.
थोडा screen मोठा करते.
हा.
Okay. Do I have others on my team? He's also come.
I'm here, yeah.
Milind is
All
also.
right. Good, good. Can you see all? Sunako.
No, that's okay.
Okay, what is it?
Oh, there.
Yeah, there.
गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. महायोगी स्वामी उमानंद सरस्वती की jai. After we talked about God as a beautiful truth, something which exists in life, and it's an arrangement made by nature so that we can easily draw extra strength when required in critical situations of our life. And by drawing certain strength, we are able to deal with the situation. And therefore, I call it a beautiful truth. Now, this is the one side of the coin. God is one side of the coin. And the other side of the coin is obviously the seeker, the saint, who is in search of God or who has found God. So it is absolutely the other side of the coin. I like to feel that that could be the other side of the coin, and that you are almost just very so close to God. So let's see what are the special things which a sage should reflect, or a sage should possess, or a sage should develop in himself or herself. Certain qualities which I have noted down few. I'll again take 2 lectures on this topic. One of them, today we are taking the first one, and next Sunday we'll take the second part. Because it's a huge topic. It's a huge topic. And when Jnandev gets a chance to speak about saints and about Nivritinath and all, obviously his oratory will keep growing. So we are going to take, because each word of them is like a mantra. Each word stated by even Jnandev or Sri Krishna, it's like a mantra. It's like an ultimate truth. It's like something which is supposed to be the fact of the nature. So, knowing these few concepts, we can develop these qualities, especially all those we are struggling to go towards light. All of us are doing it. And I'm so glad we have a group like this, which is all the time trying to go towards the ultimate truth. And so let us see what are the qualities, the characteristics, and in a sage. And of course, it is all up to us to decide whether we have it or not. It doesn't matter if we don't have few of them, we can develop them. It doesn't mean that we are no sages at all. But in some way or the other, we have developed certain qualities. We need to develop more qualities. We have to work towards it. But that's all. We'll start with the first one, and that is, the sage believes that anything which exists, which is made of 5 elements, anything in the world which is made of 5 elements, has God, the Chaitanya, or the ultimate truth, or the Brahma, or the Lord. A wicked man, a cruel man, we say, my God, obviously he doesn't have an ounce of divinity in him. Yes, but for a sage, the discipline is that whether it is an evil person or whether it's a bad person or a cruel person, the sage should have the definite philosophy that, all right, here is also the element of divinity. This is not very easy, but let us try and make it. At least let us try and see here the divinity in as many people as we can. Because they are just, because each one has to have that. I always say, when we have a name, I and Radhika, the pronoun element, all those who are people of 5 elements, and if you have a pronoun element, you can remember that that pronoun element is the Brahma element. So that is the first belief which makes this sage stand out from the common man. It makes him stand out of the common. But the moment he stands out, what is the normalcy in that? With all his qualities of standing out as a common man, he behaves like a normal person. He behaves like a normal person. There is no unnecessary air, there is no unnecessary arrogance, there is no body language of superiority or a superior complex. It's just a normal personality. Normal is normal is pure. So normal is you may have the best of the as a sage, but yet you should appear like a common man, a normal person. Like others who are around you are able to interact with you as if it's something very easy for them. It should be easy for them. So the second best quality in them is, however beautifully developed they are, however close they are to Chaitanya. As I said, they might be just the other side of the coin of the Chaitanya. And yet they appear as if they are very normal human. That is the beauty of this sage. That's the beauty of a sage. Earlier we have talked about Rishi, Muni and all. They were in the jungles, they had their dress attire, they had their code of behavior, their sanctity concepts were different, their piety concepts were different. There was, whatever they were deep into contemplation, meditation and everything, but they stood out. They stood out. But there were some who mixed about with all common men, and then they realized that he doesn't look like a sage to me, but when he comes into my life, I feel happy. I feel happy. The moment he says a few words, the effect of these saints should be that they should appear most normal, and yet their speech should make you enlightened, and they're just looking of them towards you, or them looking at you, should make you happy. These are the basic qualities. They are beautiful qualities. We are going to the third one. We say they don't know what is duality. They never differentiate with things around. They don't say this person is bad and that person is good. This person is rich, that person is poor. For them, all these differences don't actually matter. They don't actually matter. It's very difficult. It's very difficult for a common man. But the moment he sees something, he just first thing he sees is this could be just another media of divinity coming, trying to test you, or trying to understand you, or trying to know you, or trying to find out from you. It is just another person sent to you. Like I had told you last time when Shankaracharya was talking about Brahma Sutra. Vyas came, the writer, the original writer of Brahma Sutra, visited him in the form of a Brahmin. And when he came there, he heard the lectures, he talked and all, and he looked like any other person. I mean, nobody would have guessed that he could have been Vyas himself. But Shankaracharya had the correct vision of understanding. He realized that these questions which this gentleman is asking me are so relevant that only those who have studied it, or who are the very writers of it, the author of this book alone, will be able to ask such. I had a very strange experience. One gentleman came from New York one day to me. He had come to Alandi. From Alandi, he came to me and he said, Swamiji, I don't think God dwells in Alandi. I was like, taken aback. It's a place of faith. See, whether you find the gods there or not, it's hundreds of them believe that there is God there. So I was not very comfortable about that. So I decided to talk to him. I said, do one thing. What made you feel that? He said, no, I was there for a few days, but I didn't see divinity. So I said, will you visit it once again for me? So he said, why not? So I said, go there. So 3 days, take Gnaneshwari. He took my Gnaneshwari he had. And I said, just try and read it completely in 3 days. Divide the number of pages and you try and complete it. If not the whole book, take any chapter you like and complete the chapter in 3 days. The first day you offer some sugar or something like that, break a coconut. And the third day after completion, you offer some small donations, say $1, $2, whatever you can. And I said, and let's see then what you feel. And you won't believe it, he did it. And he came back to me after 3 days. And when he came back, he had so many questions about divinity and about Alandi and about Gyandev that for a fraction of a moment, I thought, is it Gyandev who has come in this form to know whether I truly know my Gyaneshwari or I truly know something about Gyandev? And then I said, how did you feel now? He says, no, he's all over. So I said, good. So I felt good. So you don't know. It is only the approach to that particular subject. If you have it with faith, probably, it manifests for you. It manifests for you. The truth manifests for you. Then he says that is the effect of his, what is the effect of his speech? The moment he speaks to you, such an enlightened person speaks to you, he may appear very normal. I'll give you another very beautiful example. I was traveling by a local train. It was about 15, 20 years back. And there were 3 fisherwomen. They were sitting and they were arguing with each other. And one of them was absolutely quiet. The woman of 60 was probably absolutely quiet. The woman of 20 was all the time fighting with this lady, elderly lady. And the one in the middle of about 40, that lady, she turned around and she turned to this old lady and she said, don't you give some answer to her? Why are you quiet? She's talking so much. Why don't you say something to her in return? The elderly lady said a very beautiful thing. She said, it's very difficult to keep quiet and it's very easy to talk. That shows divinity. If your words are enlightening, suddenly you take note of it and you realize this is something wise. You know that these words are words of divinity. So that speech can enlighten you, and the moment such saints you meet, you feel happy. Whatever may be the reason, your heart is happy. These should be the qualities in the seekers, in the sages. Now he says, there's another very beautiful thing which Gyandev and Sri Krishna talks about. He works as if he's dying to get the fruits of the work. The way he works with full enthusiasm. He will do it in such a way that work that everybody will want mine, but he's just doing it because he should get the benefits of it. But when the moment the benefits come his way, he is able to ignore the benefits. He is able to just give it away. He is able to turn back and say. That's a very beautiful story I shall tell you here. There were 2 brothers, and the elder brother and the younger brother, and there was a dispute about properties. So the elder brother said, I will give you your share of the properties, provided for 1 month you don't leave this room and go out anywhere. You must stay in this room and not go out. Once you do that, you can develop that control. I shall give you half the property. So this boy decides to stay put in the room, and 1 day, 2 days, 3 days goes. It's of course difficult. It's a very difficult thing for youngsters to be locked in a room for about 30 days. Then he decides to take something to read. And he starts developing a habit of reading. He reads and reads and reads and reads. And by the time he comes to the 29th day, he feels very wizened. He feels very confident about himself. 29th day, 1 more day he could have stayed. And the 30th day, the brother would have given half the property. But on 29th day, he just opens the door and he walks out. He works out because he now knows he can make his own money, he can make his own property, and it won't matter whether he gets it or not. So this is something what we need to do. We need to develop. We've got to work as if we are craving for something, but when actually the results come, they should not be so. You should not be affected by joy, over joy and over sorrows if you don't get it. That is the quality of the sages. Then there is another way. They are never disturbed with their basic understanding of God. Come what may, there may be certain situations which are difficult in life. Sometimes you are not well, sometimes you have tragedies in life, sometimes something unhealthy happens in life, and then suddenly you turn up and you say, I'm sure there's no God. Very many people have fallen out of this understanding because of tragedies in life. And they decided to say, no, that we don't believe in God because when I needed him, he never came. When I needed this particular solution to be done, he never came. He was not there. So that is one thing we have got to try. Sometimes we may fall a victim of it. But again, we must try to recollect where else was he there when we needed him. Was he there at all sometimes in our life? Yes, if he was there when sometimes he was in our life, then why not? Why not? Give one chance. It doesn't matter. We'll give one chance to God also. Don't leave him. Don't leave him. Because there might be certain reasons which will be explained to you at a certain state of your understanding why these particular incidents have happened. Because you are not the only one who has to be molded. All those people who come into your life also need to be taught and molded and enlightened. So incidents might be concerning to them, not to you. It might not be your journey. It might be the journey of those people about, suppose somebody is not well. Somebody very dear to is not well. It might be his journey that he needs to be enlightened. He needs to be told that he needs to take care of his health or whatever it is. So if you play a condition to God and say, if you don't look after me, it means you're not with me. It may not be a complete reality. So it's very essential that whenever the incidents do happen, his philosophy about the existence of God or the kindness or compassion of God, it does not get disturbed. It does not get disturbed. It does not waver. It does not waver. Then normally sages are loved by all. They are loved by all. But very, very rarely he gets involved. I mean, he loves his guru or his God. That is how the journey is. It doesn't mean he does not like the people around. He loves everybody, but his mind is so focused on something that the other things, they just come, they go, and that's all. People develop tremendous love for him. Now, just like, let's say, we all develop love for Ram or Krishna or so many people. And sometimes they know us, they may not even know us. So something like that happens, that we are all glued to these people who are saintly. We're talking about saints. Then there's another very beautiful thing which is said, is sacrifice. Basically, he doesn't mind not working, but he doesn't mind working also. So for him, work is just a matter of routine, which he doesn't have to choose. It's just his duty. So he works, then he gets the fruits of it. But he is able to give up the fruits also. A small example is of a mother in the house. She cooks, she serves everybody, and then she is about to eat at her own plate. She is about to have something, and one more guest comes or one more person comes in the house, and she needs to part away with whatever little portion is there for that. She gives it very easily. She gives it up very easily. She doesn't feel that she's being deprived of something. She says, no, you have this now, I'll just manage something else. So this and that sacrifice, she doesn't feel is a sacrifice. Now, sometimes when we sacrifice, we feel, my God, we've done so much for somebody. No, that person, like a mother in the house, if she parts away with all whatever she's also supposed to, she gives it away. She doesn't feel that she's parted with something where her sacrifice is too big. She doesn't feel that. She doesn't even mention it as a sacrifice. She just feels it's a natural thing. I mean, she can cook something later, if need be. So something so simple where even sacrifice is given away as sacrifice and yet not noticed or yet not talked about. It's not talked about also. Very easily it is done. Today we are just seeing all the videos where the Jawans of the army and defense are saving people. They are carrying old people, they are carrying children, they are carrying ladies, they are bringing out, their feet are becoming white at night and they are burning, they are continuously applying lotions and next morning they are back in quarters for 8 hours, 10 hours. Now this, and there are people now, they're loudly saying these army people are not army people, they are gods. They are gods. And they're touching their feet. Now, can you imagine how soon a man can be a God man? A man can be a saint. He just needs to reach out to others to help. He just needs to reach out others to help. And therefore, it is very important that his sacrifice is also not considered as a sacrifice by him. It is just an easy act. He's not worried about that his feet are hurting or his legs are hurting or he needs to go back again the next day. He doesn't call it as some very big sacrifice. He just happens to do it. Then there is another very beautiful thing we need to learn about the sages. What is it? That innate ignorance, or let's say ignorance totally is rooted out. The ignorant alone totally is rooted out. And how is it rooted out? He deals with three concepts. I am, I have, and I do. All three are rooted out. All three are rooted out. Is it possible? Oh, just give me 1 second. Somebody's at the door. Just once. Yes. He is able to deal with three concepts very easily. What are these impurities? They are in Shaivism. They are in Shaivism. These three impurities are Anavamala, Mahiyamala, and Karmamala. The first Anavamala is I am. The moment you say I am somebody, you start with ignorance. The moment you say I am Radhika or I am a doctor or I am a physician or I am a whatever, if you limit yourself only to that, that is ignorance. It's not saying that your Radhika is ignorance, but limiting yourself to only that concept. Are you only Radhika or are you something more than that? No, I'm also a human being. And I'm also, there are many other roles which I need to play. So what is the entire totality? So just understanding yourself as one entity that you are playing a role with is not enough. That's just one of the roles you are playing. So this is innate ignorance. And the bigger role is that you are spirit. The bigger role is you are a media through which the entire divinity can appear and do some good to the world. Do good to the world. Now, this entirety in you has to be understood. And this not knowing that is called one of the impurities. That is called Anavamal. You can forget the names. It's not important. But it is one of the impurities, I am. A limited understanding about yourself. You are understanding one role in your life and considering that one role is what the entire thing in your life has to be. No, you'll have multiple roles to play. You'll have hundreds of roles to play. So it's very important that you understand that the one role that you cannot be only role. So you're not only Radhika. That is impurity. The moment you understand this, and then you go to the next. Second impurity is I have. So the possessions that whatever we little have, we say I have. But there are hundreds of possessions you have which you are not talking about. There is tremendous potential of understanding, compassion, affection, of healing others, of getting healed. There are hundreds of positions you have, but we hardly talk about I have a house, I have a friend, I have one this, I have that. That's about all. There are hundreds of things other than that. So therefore, again, limiting yourself with a few contents and say that these are my positions, again is another impurity. I have. And again, I do. Again, you are limiting yourself with a smaller role in life. So these are like limited impurities in your life, and you need to get over them. And sages get over them. We are talking about saints who are free of these impurities. They're free of these impurities. Then there is another very outstanding quality in them is they are happy in themselves. They're happy in themselves. They don't need an external reason to be happy. Or an external reason does not necessarily make them sad. They're okay with themselves. Suppose I get tea, I feel happy. If I don't get tea, I'll feel very uneasy. Yes, that's something external I need, and I have to depend on that for my happiness. Now, these are small vices which we have, which probably even the saints also must be having their own. There is even some of the saints have had, Baba used to love, Nityan Baba used to love coffee. He used to have a cup of coffee every day near his this thing, and whenever anybody came, he would give them coffee. They are not their vices. They're not their vices. They're only media through which they are associating or trying to keep in contact with the human mortal form. But for people like us, there are certain things if we don't get, we are definitely going to be unhappy. So we have to overcome. So out of these about 7, 8 that I've discussed, I think I can say that I am happy in myself, but then some of my happiness does depend upon the few factors around me, which I need to probably get over. Or can you put it the other way? I can put it the other way. The moment there is something I need, it just happens to appear and manifest there. Because the happiness itself has somewhere built up a sort of a firm belief that if there's something I need, it will come its way. It will come. It will come. Maybe the faith in God or the ultimate truth might give that space itself, the benefit will be there and it will come. So the person, a sage, is happy. So we saw that he's wise. We saw that his behavior is normal. We saw that he has Advait qualities. We saw the effect of his speech as well as the glance. We've also seen how he works for the fruits as if he is crazy about it. But when it comes, he ignores the fruits. Then his yogic state is not disturbed. And he is loved by one and all, and he belongs to only one, his guru. Because there is Advaita. He knows the person in front is also just another form of me or another form of God. Another form of God. So it's okay. So he is very comfortable with it. Then his sacrifice itself ultimately is sacrificed. Even the concept that he is sacrificing for something, it doesn't really make him feel anything bloated or bloated about it. He just feels all right. That's my nature. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be highlighted. It doesn't have to be highlighted. Then he uproots all the ignorance, the 3 impurities, and now he goes towards the knowledge. How does he go towards the knowledge? The knowledge comes to him. He doesn't have to go anywhere. I keep on telling everybody, the light comes to you, the air comes to you, the water comes to you, everything comes to you. The knowledge also should come to you. We are trying to read and all. Yes, reading is collecting information. But the insight is in you. To understand what you have read and apply it and make use of it, all that is knowledge, not just the reading. Reading is taking in the information which is written. The moment you get it, for example, the teacher is explaining the class A plus B into A minus B square minus B square plus whatever it is. Now, 5 of them will understand, 5 of them will say, we don't understand this. So that understanding capacity is knowledge. And what the teacher is giving is information. So that knowledge, what is, this flows to the saint. It flows because he's free of all these impurities. It's like a crystal clear situation. So perception becomes easy. Perception becomes very easy. Then there are very 2 beautiful things. His desires always are right. A saint's desires are always right. He doesn't desire for anything that is wrong. Must be a very beautiful quality. Now we've got to try and see if some of these qualities we can inculcate in us. It should be inculcated in us, because sometimes you do desire for something, and then suddenly you want to be more right. So therefore, we have this keeping of fast, keeping of a few days, and trying to be away from the things which really attract you just for a few days. My Gurudev used to give a very beautiful example. So those who love to do shopping, I'm also one of them. A weakness in me, but of course, with the spiritual training, I try to control myself. So whenever there's if you want to do a real shopping, she says you write down whatever you want, and you open the drawer and put the list in that, and just for the next day. And then the next day you decide that, okay, I'll now open it and see what I need. So you are knowingly, you'll be deleting some. Whenever I used to go to US, come to US and all, I had friends and my nephews' wives, and they used to take me for shopping. So one day I asked Sujata, I said, Sujata, you must be wondering how come I do so much of shopping? I'm supposed to be a spiritual person. So she said, you still are. So I said, what makes you feel so? She said, you never shop for yourself. And it struck me. Well, I felt very good about it. Of course, I do it sometimes, but it's okay. So this is what something some people notice that. That's something which I liked it. So the desires are always right. They are right. Their desires are never wrong. Not only that, their thoughts are always good. These two are outstanding qualities. If you hear somebody's desire, what suppose you want, if somebody is going to go out and fight with somebody, he will say, why do you want to fight? Leave it. It's basically the thought is good. Basic thought is good. I had a very sad incident. One of the devotees came to me, and she was being sort of not treated well with by her partner. So when I talked to the partner, so I said, why are you being rude to her, or why are you making it difficult for her? I know I have no right to interfere, but I just want to know why are you making it difficult. So he said, you don't know, but Swamiji, I want to really whip her in the open market in the square, make her stand and whip her. So I said, okay, just give me a few reasons. Does she drink alcohol and abuse you? He said, no. Does she steal from you? He says, no. Does she gamble? He said, no. Does she flirt with somebody? He says, no. Then I said, give me one major reason. There was no major reason. There was no major reason. He also wondered, are these the very major? Yes, where is another? Give me some major reason for it. If she is bad, that bad that you want to whip her, I mean, it's something very abnormal. So anyway, the idea is that thoughts should be always good. Basically, you should be a good person. Your ideas and thoughts should be basically good. Having a few mistakes here and there, it's okay, it's all right. But you cannot have a mean mind and a mean desire. You should desire something normal and good. If you want to have an ice cream, it's a good desire. There's nothing wrong in that. There's nothing wrong in that. There's nothing wrong in that. So have a good desire and have a good thought. These two are very positively reflected by the saints. Now there is like a pot. When you break it, its space within and the space outside is just one. It's the pot. The moment the pot is broken, or without even if you cover the lid and open the lid again, the space becomes one. Similarly, this saint by heart and mind is one with the word. Is one with the word. Now, these may be some of the qualities we may not be able to notice very easily, but then how do we notice that he's a liberated person? The moment when he comes to you and you feel wise, you should feel. Yeah, or he came and he told me something which made me feel okay. That's what it should be. The first time I had gone to Gurudev, and I was in the ashram. So before that, for almost 15, 20 years, I was deep into meditation. I used to meditate often. I used to feel I have done a great journey So when I went to her, I expected her to accept me as somebody very enlightened. So she just said nothing. She just said, "You've meditated for long. How about studying now?" She said, you need two wings and one tail. You need two wings and one tail. So you've been meditating. You just have one wing fluttering, fluttering, fluttering. That's why you're not flying high. So that underlines, immediately I got it very clear in my mind that there was something which was still lacking. And this is what happens when you actually meet a saint. You don't see what is wrong in you, you see what is lacking in you. What is lacking in you. And then you start moving towards it and you are inspired to pick that up. You're inspired to pick it up. You don't say, oh, is it all right? Is it something lacking in it? To hell with it. I don't mind. No, that's not your language. Then you start wondering, my God, how come I have missed it for so long? How come I have missed it? Because the person who brings it to your notice is a flawless person. Nowhere is he trying to underestimate you or express his superiority over you. It's just bringing to your notice simple facts, most simply placed and most wisely expressed. It is very essential that we have saints in the world. It's very essential. I had once gone to there was a case in the police department, and I had gone to the police department. And the way he was cross-examining, talking to me, it was as if he was in mind that I must be responsible for something wrong. I just asked him one thing. I said, and suddenly somebody came and they were talking about crying to him. So he said, I need to go. I said, you'll be less busy you'll be more busy if people like us don't interact with the common society. Then suddenly he realized, and he sat down to subtype. He says, no, ma'am, I want to get complete information from you. But I'm just giving you an idea. Just an idea how everything around works. The knowledge comes to him. And God is very, very beautifully, God says, that is my hope. Such a person, he makes his home body as such a temple that I love to dwell in him, but as a sannyasi. God, he wants to dwell in such a person as a sannyasi. And then he says, through dispassion, I serve you. My God, this must be an extremely beautiful state of humanity. Imagine divinity dwelling in you. Ramakrishna Paramahansa, a great sage of Bengal, when he used to walk on the streets, the divinity was so grand in him that it used to radiate. It used to bring out light. There used to be halo around him. And every time people would look at him and he used to feel awkward about it. So he tells his mother, his goddess mother, he says, you reduce your luster, you reduce your radiance. The people notice me. Gaurang Mahaprabhu was another great saint. He was from, I think, Orissa, Jagannath Puri. He was from a lordly family, and he had decided to go into something, a simple ascetic way of life. Even if he would sit amongst the beggars, people would still notice him. And he used to have all the donations in his plate. He used to scatter them away then. Because the divinity appears through a person. And that is where you cannot miss out. You cannot miss out a saint. You cannot miss out a saint. It's very important that, because God himself lives in them. A very beautiful, the 13th chapter speaks about saints in Ganeshwari. I had made a composer, in Santon ka koi mol nahi. There is no any value attached to it. They are valuables. They are more precious. They are more precious. We cannot state any price of these saints. They are very precious. In Santon ka koi mol nahi. Ye manav mein anmol hai. Anmol. They are priceless. They are priceless. saints are priceless. And we want to be those. We want to be those. We want to be those. Now he says another very beautiful quality in him. He's all the time full of bliss. He's happy. For no reason or the other, he's happy. One day my son said, we have so many problems in the house. How come you are still always enthusiastic and happy? I said, that's my Guru's grace. That's my Guru. We are happy at heart. We have problems. Who doesn't have problems? Everybody has problems. But they don't weigh you down. They don't weigh you down. They don't weigh you down. You start looking at them as another challenge in your life. They are not critical crisis. They are considered as one of the challenges in your life. My paper on stress management, in that I had defined S for not calling it Sankat. Sankat is dangers. S should stand for situations, not Sankat. Sankat is danger. When there's a danger, you tend to go back, and when it is a situation, you come forward. So just merely looking at the world, it's like in Benares, last time I went, Advaishanand was giving food parcels and money to all ascetics there. They were all standing in queues and coming, they were getting. None of them felt they were beggars. And when we went to Ganga and we were giving beggars around, who knew they were beggars? Were sure they were beggars and they were begging for it. These saints who were there, they were not beggars. They were receiving it as it was just an interaction. God is giving it in this way. That's all. So something the mind becomes very normal and very positive, and yet it is so engrossed in the divinity that it sees only divinity around. So that is, they are filled with bliss. They are a bud of totality. They are budding. Totality buds through them. It starts. Budding is starting. The entirety in the universe, everything perfect starts building up through these people. Through saints, something perfect starts manifesting. It could be an institution, it could be a person, it could be a place, it could be a time, it could be anything. Something very nice and complete starts budding out of these people. Because of them, something complete starts happening in the world. Something, whether it's a construction of any monument or something, an entirety starts coming out of it, and it becomes total. It is not incomplete and to be completed later. No, it starts completing. Completion is a very quality of the saints, that they undertake and they complete properly. The pillars of courage. Very beautifully put. Then we have, he is continuously wearing, his ornaments are nothing but made of peace. There is peace. He is at peace. He is able to keep people around them in peace. He doesn't, except sometimes when the sun comes, I keep on telling what you have, what you have. I say, is there anything other than food that you can offer? And when I start talking to him about spiritualism, he says, now your time for speech is over. But he definitely notices the peace in me, the affection in me. That's important. That's important, because that's what we are there. We are there only if you need. If we don't need, it's okay. It's okay. If I prepare a speech and I go for a speech and somebody says we don't have time, I say it's okay. It's okay. I had a great incident at Latur, and we were invited for a talk. I also had been there. Latur is close from here. There were about 20 speakers. Out of the 20 speakers, I was the only lady. So the 20 of them were very chivalrous, and they said, we would like the lady to speak first. I had my chance. I told him, Nandi, I want to speak the best. And I finished Bhagavad Gita in 18 lines. I talked about it. After I finished, the organizer came and said, we have to unfortunately vacate the stage because we are getting all these Swamis are coming from Mantralaya for Yajna. And out of the 20, I was the only one to speak who got the chance. There are times when I get my chance. There are times when I don't get my chance. I don't have to worry because I know somewhere again it's going to come my way. It's very important. There is peace is born as an ornament by such sage. Then death, birth, illnesses. I mean, touch wood, all said and done. For I don't want to. I'm just trying to understand how close I could be towards being, very saintly or something like that. So for years together, earlier every 15th day I used to have temperature, fever, cold, cough. Everything used to come. Everything. I used to keep a water-soaked thing on my head, on my own. We were living. So I used to do all that myself. I used to feel miserable every 15th day. Sometimes I used to feel I'm short of food or whatever it was. But nowadays, in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, touch wood, you look far behind. No, I think 16 years ago or 20 years ago, I must have had real illness somewhere. Touch wood, I should not boast about it, because that's a grace which has come. And that is helping me. That's helping me. It's because my mind is either with mantras, or if at all it is thinking about something, it's happy thoughts. It's not something, it doesn't matter, even if it's a cup of tea, or even if it's a movie, or if it's something. Maybe that happiness is keeping me healthy. So it's very important that you are, and that the illnesses and all don't reflect on him. Now he overcomes attachment, the concept of honor, dishonor, or anything like that. He's okay with it. He's okay with it. Somebody says you are very good, somebody says you are very bad. All right. That is their opinion. You know deep down in you whether you are good or bad. You don't have to get affected by that. Then you have vikalpa, decision making. He doesn't make decisions. He just acts when the decision is made by God. The decision comes, he is told to do a certain. He is being asked to do a certain. I remember every time I used to be wanting to be prepared for my lecture in the evening, and I used to sit and work or something like that. And some family people used to turn up for either lunch or dinner, and I used to have no time studying for my lecture. I used to feel, my God, I don't have time now. What should I do? I used to say, it doesn't matter, you look after it now. I used to leave it to Gurudev. Yes, you have to leave it, because they are going to speak through you. So you prepare when you are free. Doesn't matter if you can't, you don't have to worry. But we keep on feeling that I am the doer. So that non-doer mentality has to be developed in us. It has to be developed in us. So moha, maya, vikalpa, bhed, difference, ajnan, ignorance, dvait, dualities, sins, concept of merits, righteous deeds. All these just fade away. They don't really exist with him when he works. He's only doing anything because he's inspired by the ultimate, and because he feels it is a service to the ultimate. His activity, whatever he does, he considers to be. Nowadays, whenever I attend, even marriages and all, if at all I have to give some sort of small gifts and all, I feel I'm buying something for Lord Shiva and Shakti. I'm giving the couple in this form, because when will I meet Shiva and Shakti and give them in person? So the best way is to do it with that feeling. If I have to take some people out, the ashram people out for the food and all, I feel this is like a Brahman Bhojan, or the auspicious lunch being offered to people who are saintly. So the belief in it has to be beautiful. So whatever you do, if you believe that it is divine, it works. It works. It works. Earlier, there used to be actresses working as goddess Parvati and things like that. The moment they used to come, my mother-in-law, she used to hold her hands. Same I do when Sai Baba in recent series comes. I fold my hands and I say, God, I want to be like you. I want to be like you. Now, does it reach him? Yes, that's what probably reaches. That is what probably reaches the gods. And then what does he do? The best beauty in that is he only feeds on spiritual nectar. He only feeds on spiritual nectar. They are presenting only 20 topics to you, 20 ideas. There are 20 more, 50 more. But we'll have to take another topic for a second lecture for that. The divinity of saints, if we understand. And we develop few qualities. Don't worry about having all of them in us. They'll come. The moment you get enlightened, all these are going to be a part and parcel of you. Meanwhile, at least some you can think of. Some you can think. At least let us try and see God's in everything, whether right or wrong. If we can see that, we'll start a journey. We'll start a journey. So, this is Swami Radhikanan from Pune. Any questions? Now you can switch on your mics. What do I do?
Nothing.
That was good.
Okay. Thank you, Milind. Thank you.
Yeah, very beautiful.
Thank you, Vishaka.
So, not a question, just a desire, like you said.
Yeah, definitely.
All of us, we have a chance to become saints, right?
Yes. You are a saint.
Possibility of becoming a saint.
You are a saint. So we are able to enjoy these topics.
Yeah. So I don't know who said that. Once I read this, somebody saying that when you walk on the road, you don't know how many enlightened people you might be, they might be passing by you, because they don't go around claiming themselves to be, they are very
Yes.
humble and they look very ordinary. So they don't have any special looks on them, but
Yes. You may not identify these people.
Yeah.
Even Arjun says that to Sri Krishna. He said, how often Narada told us that you are saintly. How often the others talked about you in high. And we knew, but yet we treated you as a cousin. And we fought with you. We argued with you. We, when it came to sharing food with you, we denied you certain privileges. So he confesses it to Lord Krishna. So he says, we did that. We didn't even realize it that he was so divine.
Also, when you were mentioning about
The best of the one was not understood. How can ordinary saints be realized? And some of them are so, they may have certain qualities, very few, but yet they will try to pose in such a way that they are seen. But the actual saint, you will just miss out. He will just come in here, you go away. You won't even know. You won't even know. But when you come back and you feel, my God, I felt good about the first meeting me. And I felt he had something nice, charismatic. All right, then you know that you'll met. Very beautifully, I remember Milind having told one of them, when we were in 2016 Ohan, I had vision there. So somebody had probably asked Milind that your guru had come, but there was a very little crowd. He says, even if Christ comes, very few will come. I still remember that. So it's true. You sometimes don't know whether there are good people around or not. But this is a duty, and this is how they should be. They should be very simple and normal. The moment they stand out, then they try to create certain classifications, and the interaction becomes difficult. The interaction should be so easy, so easy. A few days ago, there was a small little, I think, a baby, a very little child, or it was there was a Buddha statue, and very nicely the child went and hugged the Buddha statue. So this interaction should be something without fear of God, without fear of God. The goodness has to be the leading quality.
also in
Yes.
the ordinary people also, sometimes you find such very divine qualities, like at that moment you kind of feel the glimpses of saintlyhood or godlyhood in somebody. So
Yes.
it
Because
is
divinity, once you are on this path, once we are all on this path, it can meet you round any corner. It can meet you through it can be through a dog. I'll tell you a beautiful story of Muktanand Baba. And he was crossing over. He was going through a path which was leading him to Tibet. And it was against law that he should have crossed that without visa and things like that. So there was one dog which came in the way, and it would not allow Muktanand Baba to cross that way. He did not allow, it kept barking, it became ferocious. And somehow deep down in Muttan Baba, he felt, I don't know why he's blocking my way. But he turned and he came back and he felt safe. So you don't know, because divinity wants to protect you. The moment they know here is a useful person for the society, the divinity will go all out to protect you. Then it doesn't matter, even if it could be just through a dog on the streets can bark you to take another route and go. You might miss a plane. If there were certain people who were to go by a plane and they were delayed or something. So there was a person who was to join them. He just had to, he missed out the plane. And his own wife or friend said, maybe it is for your good. And true, it was for his good, because that got delayed by so many hours that by then he had almost taken another flight and reached. So you don't know. The moment you are on this path, be 100% sure your guru is only going to lead you towards right. So even if you miss out something in a practical life, you feel, you must remember it is for the good. And this sort of a suggestion can come through. It can come through. Even a tree may just fall and block your way. The car may not go further. And it might be for your own good. So it never harms you. The divinity, if you are on the path of divinity, nothing should harm. Nothing should harm. Any other question? Okay, should we consider close?
Okay,
Okay,
that was very good.
thank you. Thank you. घाली लोटांगण वंदीन चरण डोळ्याने पाहिन रूप तुझे प्रेमी आलिंगिन आनंदे पूजिन भावे ओवाळीन मणी नमा त्वमेव माता पिता त्वमेव बंधु सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृति स्वभाव करोमि यज्ञं सकलं परस्मै नारायणायति समर्पयामि अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणं कृष्णदामोदरं वासुदेवं हरि श्रीधरं माधवं गोपिका वल्लभं जानकीनायकं रामचन्द्रं भजे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। महायोगी स्वामी उमानंद सरस्वती जय।
ताई नेक्स्ट वीक फक्त मला बाय फ्रायडे इफ यू लेट मी नो बिकॉज सॅटर्डेज
We'll
युजली
take the second part of this. Sthita Prajna is described. He is actually the same saint, but their qualities defining him are extremely beautiful. We need to discuss.
So
So this
qualities of
topic
Sita Prajna.
these saints to be continued.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
All right,
Bye bye. Bye.
bye.